Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the fuck up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
Welcome back, Tuesday morning, Believe You Me. Michael Bisping, very early for you. Thank you for...
Very early, 7:30 a.m., Lewis. Now, generally, I like to rise early. I have 3 kids, so they get out of bed pretty early, you know, depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm up even earlier than that, Lewis. I go and catch flights at like 5, 6 a.m., you know. So my friends always like, I have friends on the East Coast, and I'll send them a text, and they're like, oh, you're up early. Like I'm some kind of fucking loser that gets out of bed late every day. I'm a very, very busy man, Lewis.
Well, I'm an early riser as well. I have a 6-year-old, and I take him to school 3 days a week. And yeah, I got to get up early too. But there's a difference between getting up early, having a cup of coffee, scratching your balls, picking your ass, and then coming on to, you know, one of the best podcasts in the world and performing at the highest level possible. So I commend you for, you know, getting up. I'm already talking to you. You're already on. You've already trashed me. You've already made fun of me. You've already mocked me saying baby boy and doggy about 4 or 5 times. So
I'm on my second cup of the day, Lewis, okay? And I don't get up and scratch my balls and all that type of stuff. As we said the other day, I'm working. I'm in my underpants right now, but I'm working, okay? I don't need to get dressed. I work from home. Don't hate on me because you got to go in and enjoy the slime of the city. You got to get in the subway with all these weirdos. I see the videos that happen on the subway. I know what goes on in those places. Just because I can work from the luxury of my home in my underpants, drinking coffee that my beautiful wife serves to me on request. Don't hate on me, Lewis, okay?
it's not hating. I'm jealous. I'm, you know, if I had the life that Mr. Bisping had, holy shit. I have to stare at fucking Mike Harrington's face. Every time I get a cup of coffee or anything, Mike Harrington, he just sludges his way into the room and pouts and gives it to me. Like, your wife is a fucking gorgeous angel, a goddess amongst women. She comes in, she kisses you, says, my master, hands you a cup of coffee. She floats out of the room like an angel. Harrington literally leaves a trail of sludge, like a slug. Like, there's actually a slimy trail behind where he walks. So you have a much better life in many more ways than you don't even know.
Slugs are one of my most hated of animals or insects or creations or beings on this earth. No offense, Harrington, very slug-like you are. But the first house that we had, we would every night there was tons of slugs in the kitchen. I don't know how they got in, these big black slugs. And we bought the house, we loved it. The first thing I did was rip the kitchen out, full of enthusiasm.
You didn't have to say what color they were. Michael Bisping, you know, there's no reason to say the color. They were all, we see no color. They were just slugs.
Okay, they were slugs, but they were definitely big black slugs and they were bad. They were horrible. But I go downstairs at night for a glass of water. I'd be in bed and I wouldn't turn the light on. It's only a small house. I got decent night vision. Well, I used to back then. And what would happen? I'd step in the slugs and they would be squashed in between my toes. The most disgusting thing. And it would happen about twice a month. Yeah, we had a big slug problem. But I tell you what, we may or may not have a problem with right now. See that segue? I mean, look at how clear I'm coming through, how crystal clear I sound. It's almost like I decided to get a hardline wire, bypass the Wi-Fi and go Ethernet old school hardline. I decided to, Lewis. I came up with the idea.
Where did you get that idea?
And I was laying in bed one night and I was thinking about it. I thought, you know what? I'm sick of this modern technology, this humdrum idea that everything has to be wireless. No, I'm an old school guy. I've got old school values. I've now got old school Wi-Fi.
This is why I respect you. You're a leader. You know, you have great ideas. All I can do is I can follow your lead and hope to maybe be one day as good as you. I'm not even at a place where I own a home where I can step into slugs. That is a step up right now. If I had a home with slugs all over the ground, I would feel like I'm winning, but I'm trying to just get there.
You have no idea what you're missing with the slugs, but
let me ask you a question.
So I have got a question. Hold on, I've got a question. So of course, the last show we spoke about getting a hard line. Amazon is such a great thing. I clicked the button on Amazon and now I have a 200-meter cable lying around the house The kids are yet to come downstairs, okay? I guarantee one of them is going to trip halfway down the stairs, maybe break the neck. If they do, I'm blaming Gas Digital. Not Luis J. Gomez, Gas Digital. I see you pointing. What do you want?
Worth it.
Totally worth it.
Depending on the kid, depending on which kid it was, this show needs to be higher quality. So Lucas, he needs to live. He's young. He could turn it around. We all know that he's got some problems. You and him have had your issues already in his short time on this earth. And now Callum's going off to college. He's about to be a star, probably future MMA champion. He's got to live, carry on the Bisping legacy. Ellie.
So we're saying Ellie's the dispensable one.
Yes, I thought you were
She's upstairs. She's upstairs with a friend sleeping in her bed. She's got a friend staying over. Two girls walking downstairs. They trip over the wire. They break the necks. That wouldn't be good. For me, I say let's lose Callum. He's going off to college. Okay, he's going to be out of the house anyway. We'll see no difference. He's leaving soon.
And to be honest with you, if he broke his neck, the way that he recovered from that arm injury, he would probably be right back in the gym in a couple months. He's okay with it.
Exactly. It's nothing to him. It really isn't. But I did want to ask because, yes, the Wi-Fi seems to be, the internet now, no Wi-Fi is playing ball. But I've plugged the Ethernet cable into the router. Should it be plugged into the wall? That is the question I have.
I don't know. I mean, we're getting the internet and it's coming up on your computer as Ethernet, right? It's not coming up as Wi-Fi. Like if you look in the corner
I've turned the Wi-Fi off. Yeah, Wi-Fi is off.
It's definitely working then in that case. Maybe here's the thing, and we don't want to spend too much time talking about this.
No. I know it's working, but what I'm saying is, would it be better if it went into the wall or through the router or the router, as you guys say? Because if the router is a little bit faulty, slow, the router might need replacing, and perhaps the wall is fine.
Maybe there's a faster router. There's probably cables that are made of gold that costs fucking $500. That, I mean, they really have I think the higher quality hardware we get, and that's all going to make a difference. But look, we didn't even digitize. So we just spoke over each other, and we're not even digitizing.
It's incredible. But you said to me, you sent me the link the other day on the cable. Now you're saying the cable isn't good. Now I need to get gold cables. Well, if you sent me that link to the gold cables, to the prestige, to the high-end cable, I would have bought that, Lewis. Okay? Don't start fucking dissing my cable, especially when you sent it to me.
Well, to be honest with you, Mr. Bisping, you have a half mansion to fund. You have 6 or 7 maids that you have to pay. A kid going off to college. I didn't want to just add another expenditure, especially if we didn't know if it would work. Now that we know that we're at least getting, it seems to be a little bit more stable of a connection. Now we can expand. Now we pivot. Now we maybe spend a little bit more money, invest a little bit more. So I see you looking at yourself. You're really conceited. It's crazy. If everyone in that moment, rewind just this moment, and I want you just to go back 13 seconds and see Mr.
No,
Bisping.
It's fine. I did it on purpose. You don't have to go back to show me. Listen, you're talking about internet, though. Here's one thing I do want to discuss right now. We're fine. This show is cooking with gas. It is on its way. We are 1080p. We are non-digitizing in 2019. Lucas is in there. He's close to tears. There's no Wi-Fi in the house. He can't watch his YouTube videos. And he's not a happy camper right now. And I think, as I said that, I did start to break up a little bit.
Why would you say
Lucas
anything?
is in the other room. Lucas is in the other room right now, very unhappy because, kids, they don't watch TV anymore. They don't watch SpongeBob in the morning, which breaks my heart because I did like SpongeBob. They don't watch any of these shows. He just watches YouTube videos on how to, I don't know, make a torch out of crap or something. I don't know what it is.
I keep it kind of traditional in my house because my son wakes up every morning and I make him usually a bowl of oatmeal or a couple eggs. And he watches TV.
So wholesome.
I know. And he watches TV. He actually turns on every morning. It's
Do you know what you sound like?
What?
Do you know what you sound like? You sound like Joe Pesci's character. Is it from Casino or... but every day he's a psycho. But every day he gets up and he makes bacon and eggs for his son because he's such a nice guy. But then he goes out of the house during the day and kills a bunch of people and bullies and terrorizes Las Vegas. Every day I get up, I make my son some oatmeal or some eggs, okay? But then I go out there and I fuck the world over. That's what you sound like.
I really am. People know me and they're like, they see my timeline on Twitter or Instagram, and it goes from like pictures of me and my son like doing wholesome things, ice skating, holding hands, going out to eat, and then the next one is like a horribly off-color joke, like just so it's just such a weird like back and forth between. But yeah, I mean, look, at home, we create content, and it's my job to say fucked up things, and in my opinion, as a comedian, that's sort of my job. That's a comedy that I appreciate and enjoy, comedy that sort of pushes the boundaries a little. And at home, it's not my job to be that guy. So people are like, like I don't curse in front of my kid at all. Like I have, and you'll see it. If I did it the other day, I was doing like an Instagram live, and I cursed in front of him, and he was like, "Dada, don't say that. That's a bad word." And it's because he's not used to me cursing in front of him. Yes, Mr. Bisping.
No. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was going to say, so bye guys. See, that's how wholesome I am. I'm in here. I'm doing a podcast. Teenage girls are walking by. I'm saying, have a great day at school. Study hard. Pay attention to your grades. That's just the type of dad I am, Luke, but whatever. What was I going to say? Oh, no, you're talking about swearing in front of children. Bye, Lucas. Have a great day, son. The thing is, you can't shroud or shield your children from the bad language in the world. So I try not to swear in front of my kids, and generally I don't. But now and again, I'm a real man. And sometimes I do. If something bad happens, I might throw out a shit here and there or whatever. But I do try and limit it. But you want them, you have to expose them to it a little bit, right? Otherwise, when they first hear it, they're going to think, oh, well, what are these words? And they're taboo, and they're excited about them. So then they're going to start using them and thinking they're cool. Whereas if you raise them the right way, listen, these are words that exist, but you've got to be a better kid that when I'm not around, you don't use them. That's the path that I follow, Lewis.
Of course. And you're right. To a certain degree, you are right. And I follow that path as well. However, look, I got a filthy mouth. If I don't actively, consciously try to not speak the way that I say fuck every other word on the podcast, in life. So if I'm not consciously thinking about it, kids mimic us. He walks like me. He talks like me. It's just going to be a natural thing that he picks up on. And, I can't be upset with him if I'm doing it, so I almost feel like it's
true.
And also the same way with like, look, I'll drink a glass of wine in front of my kid. He knows adults do certain things. I can drive a car. I can drink a glass of wine. He's not, at that age yet. So when he's an adult, he can do these things as well. And I think he understands that. But I do try to, I try to be somewhat wholesome when I'm at home, because I'm such a piece of shit in every other area of life.
Let me ask you this then. Different area of childhood. Hey, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Boundaries. Let me ask you this. So Callum is 18 in a few days, like 10 days, something like that. We were just recently in England. In England, the legal drinking age is 18, right? So what that means is basically when you're 15 or 16, if you're a big guy, you can get away with drinking,
of course.
Right? America is 21. England is 18. In my mind, he's 18. So when we were in England, I said, hey, do you want to have a pint with your old man? So we sat in a pub, we had a beer, two men. It was a nice moment. His first beer in a pub. I'd rather he was doing it with me. I'm not saying he got wasted or anything. He had 2 beers and that was it. But as I say, he's almost 18. He's legal age.
He's going to college.
Where do you stand on? Where do you stand on? Well, exactly. He's going to go off to college. They're all going to be doing that. And he's actually a very responsible drinker. Me on the flip side, I was ended up hammered. Come on, Callum, have a shot, you pussy. And he's like, Dad, I'm fine. I've got things to do. I'm like, you're no son of mine. I ended up arguing. I threw him out of the house. I disowned him. I ended up crying and throwing up everywhere. He's sitting at me, looking at me, giving me the internal shame bell. But yeah, where do you stand on this, Lewis?
I think it's fine. I mean, look, I smoke weed. Right. So people have asked me like, oh, are you going to smoke weed with your kid when he's older? But I have a problem with weed. Like I smoke weed. It's not necessarily like if you drank the way that I smoked weed, which is by getting up every day during the day, doing it all day long, making it a very casual thing. I just do it on the show. People don't drink that way. And if you did drink that way, it would be a major problem. And I would say you probably shouldn't share a beer with Callum, right? But alcohol is a different thing. I think when my kids, even when he's 18, if we're not in England, I think if he wants to have a beer before he goes off to college, there's almost like a coming of age thing there. And I don't really find anything. I think it's about your relationship with your kid. I think Callum's a really good kid. I think having a beer with his dad, is only a cool moment in his life. It's not like he's not setting off down a path. And the reality is, Callum's also a cool kid. He's not like a pussy or a nerd. He's probably going to go to some parties and have some beers while he's off at college, but he's also an extremely responsible kid. So I think that you sort of have to look at who your kid is and what they're going to do, because I think some other kids would go, cool, my dad says it's cool, now I could fucking party. And I don't think Callum's that kid.
No, he really isn't that kid. And as I say, he had like 2 beers, and I said, "You want another?" And he's like, "No, I'm fine." So he's got his head screwed on, and he doesn't have a taste for alcohol. He really doesn't. So that's a great thing. Now, flip side, my daughter, right? And I shouldn't be saying this on the podcast, but I don't care. You know, it's fine. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. She's 16, going on bloody 36. She came in the other night, and we could smell alcohol on her breath, right? And we're like, "Elliot, come on, what is going on?" And she's like, "Well, Callum was drinking in England." See what I mean? And then she threw it in my face.
Whoa.
And I'm like, well, yes, because that was England, and it's 18, and he's pretty much 18. You're 16, okay? And we're in America, you know? So it does send mixed signals, confusing signals, you know, or she's just using that as an excuse.
And also, well, that's what I was going to say. It's like, well, whether you had a beer or not with Callum in England, do you think that was the reason she had a drink that night? Do you think that would have been any difference, or there would just been another excuse?
No, they all went to a pool party at a friend's house that day. They're all hanging about in the bikinis. I saw some of the Instagram shots. Okay, no. I don't approve. It's far. It's weird. I guess it's just what teenage girls do. We'll move on from this topic because if Ellie hears this, she would kill me. And you know, but yeah, she probably would have done the same thing anyway. But all right, guys, I want to tell you about our new sponsor, which is Wix.com. Wix is a place where you can go to create professional websites. And the best part is Wix makes it easy. With Wix, you can start from scratch or choose from over 500 stunning templates. They have the world's most innovative drag and drop website builder, so you can easily customize your site and add text messages, images, videos, whatever you want. And here's the thing. Here's how we know that this website is very, very easy to use. If you want a website, if you have a small business, if you just want to promote whatever it is, you got to be on the web these days. And you're probably thinking, this is too hard. I need to be a graphic designer. I need to go to school for this type of thing. No, you don't. Because our very own Mike Harrington, the hammer fisting Harrington, went to Wix.com and designed us our very own Believe You Me website, which is coming very, very soon. It's a thing of beauty.
This week.
If that numbskull can do it, it did it in no time at all. It's unbelievable.
A day later.
Website, you gotta go to Wix.com. Check it out. Tell them more, Lewis.
If you go to Wix.com/believe, they give you 10% off of any premium plan. They make it super easy. I'm talking about a child can do it. Somebody with less of a brain capacity of a child, like Mike Harrington, can do it. You can join over 140 million people who've built their website using Wix. It's free to build your own website. And if you use our link, Wix.com/believe, you save 10% off of any of the premium plans. So go do that right now. Wix.com, Wix.com/believe. Go build the website and let them know that we sent you. All right, let's get back into it.
So the first thing in our notes, Lewis, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna bring up the first thing in our notes. I was just gonna say it though. We're just gonna throw it out there.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
Just throw it out there then. Oh, Game of Thrones. We're going there. I started with Game of Thrones. Yeah, how do you feel about it? I mean, listen, I waited 2 years for that episode. Now I watched it. I enjoyed it. I was gripped. I paid attention. But at the end of it, the word I will use, and I used it yesterday, I was a little underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay. I did enjoy it. I did like it. But for the wait, it wasn't nowhere near as epic as some episodes. Now, I understand, and I'm quoting him. Oh, Damon Martin from, he's a very good writer for Nerdcore, MMA, many websites. Good MMA writer over the years, become with him. He was saying, listen, it was a setup episode, and he's right. It was setting up all the things. It was setting up that Jon Snow is a Targaryen and all the rest of it, and he could get on the dragon, and the dragon accepted him, and he was able to fly. And the fact that him sitting on the dragon and flying through the sky, you know, I was like, oh, he's being accepted. I felt like I was watching a fucking Disney movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I put it on my Instagram yesterday, the never-ending story, the flying dog. I felt like it was that. I felt like I was watching the never-ending story.
I think with this being the last season, I mean, you see the videos of bars going fucking ape shit, which is cool. If you could find some of those videos, I don't know if Mike saw them, but this was such like oh my God, we're waiting for this thing to happen so long. They should have known people are so critical as it is. And it was great. It really was great. If this was the opening of any other show, any other season, any other thing, I would go, what a great episode of television. But you expected something really big. Like I remember even when the dude with the red hair was going through the thing, I was like, Arthur, got to kill him right now because I got to kill a major character in the first episode this season.
What guy with the red hair? You mean the big wildling?
Yeah, the wildling. I forget where they were going, but I remember thinking, are they about to kill him?
Or something? No, that's Harry Potter. What I'm talking about. Yeah, you're right. They were going through that underground bit, and he's like, "Oh, he has blue eyes." He's like, "My eyes have always been blue." I'm like, "One of my eyes has always been blue," is what I would have said. But you're right. I mean, that bit with the kid on the wall and then it come alive, and that was his hell, and that was done well. That was very, very good. But there was, I as you said, I think after 2 years away, with the hype being so big. Oh, here we go. Let's take a look.
How did you sneak up
They're all waiting.
How did you survive a knife through the heart?
I didn't.
Get a grip. Get a grip. Oh, they're hugging.
What are they reacting to here?
They're reacting to Arya Stark and Jon Snow hugging and reuniting after so long.
You still have it.
And that's not what I was even talking about. I was talking about when there was one bar where it opened up, where it was just the opening credits, and as soon as the swords cross, the bar went ape shit like crazy, and the expectations were so high for this episode that it was hard to not feel underwhelmed. But think about what they're setting up here. The little things they did. Ready? Sansa's a fucking bitch now.
I'm ready. Sansa is a bitch. She wants to be the queen, but go ahead. Right? I'm leading myself open to be criticized, but the pool guy has turned up and the dogs are going fucking ape shit. Okay? Shut up!
Is that the pool guy or the dog?
Shut up!
I don't know. He heard some strange.
Well, the pool guy had a stroke, so he doesn't say much these days. I'm not laughing at him having a stroke. I'm just saying he doesn't say much these days.
I mean, that's ironic. He had a stroke. He's a pool guy. Come on.
Guy. No, go on. You were saying, go on, Game of Thrones, go.
Yeah, I mean, the things that they set up, like, it was also sort of weird how they shifted a lot of, like, everyone's attitude shifted between the seasons. So now Sansa doesn't trust, what's her name? And Arya's being a little bit weird with Jon Snow. And, now they're sort of setting it up with Jon Snow and Daenerys to sort of, be against each other at one point. It was just sort of out of nowhere. It was a little bit too... It was just a little too forced. It was like a little bit crazy. There was, and I understand they have to do that, but the whole world is just in a very different position than it was just in the last episode of the last season. Like everyone had just come together, and it was sort of nice to see the Starks together. Jon Snow's back with them, and now he comes back from this mission, and everyone's immediately divided. And it's interesting. It's good.
I don't think. Listen, I say underwhelmed, and that might be a little bit strong of a word, but for me, as I said, after waiting almost 2 years and for it being so long, I see a concerned look on your face, Luke. So you're just interested in what I say, or am I having problems?
No. I was just interested in what you're saying, and I'm also just always watching.
Well, I do speak with such integrity that I do command attention. But after 2 years away, I was waiting for a big, dramatic, holy shit, red wedding style, jaw-dropping moment. You know what I mean? And that's what they should have done. After 2 years away, okay, we can't get right into a battle scene. It's too early. We're going to build to that. We're going to build the tension, build the hype. But give us something. You know what I mean? Give us a main character that's going to get his head chopped off or throat slit or quartering. You know what I mean?
Let me take a moment to say thank you so much for listening to the show, and go to iTunes right now. Leave us a 5-star ranking, positive review if you're on Apple. We're also on Google Play. We're on Spotify, so you could do it there as well. You could download the podcast for free. The latest 15 episodes are available, and also the video episodes are available on YouTube. Just search Believe You Me Podcast or Michael Bisping Podcast on YouTube, and you can subscribe there as well. But if you want to get access to every episode that we've ever done, they're all available at gasdigitalnetwork.com. Gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get a 14-day free trial. You have access to over 135 episodes. You have access to pre-release on our episodes 24 hours before they go to iTunes or anywhere else, ad-free episodes, uncensored episodes, and our great live chat as well, which we have to start incorporating the live chat a little bit if there's people, there. Oh, yeah. And we also now have T-shirts and mugs and hoodies up on merchpump.com. What is it? merchpump.com/BYM? Yeah, so go grab. It's just the logo design right now, but we're working on a couple brand new designs as well. So look out on the next couple weeks for some pretty cool stuff over at merchpump.com. There they are, the T-shirts, the hoodies, mugs, everything. You too.
Wow.
Can be drinking out of a Believe You Me mug. Look at Michael Bisping. There he is.
I had no idea we had such an abundance of merchandise.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're opening things up. We have a new design we're working on. In fact, you know what? I'll say this. We have an idea,
Say it.
and I haven't liked most of them just yet. We had one guy who sent in some pretty fucking cool stuff, and I'm going to hit him up because one of the designs he sent in was awesome. But I'll say this: we want to do a Believe You Me coat of arms. We want to make it look like a real coat of arms, but sort of you draw influence from the show, and that's all I'll say. Okay, and we want to use that for a T-shirt design, a mug design, a hat design. So if you guys send it to us, bympod@gmail.com, the same place you send your questions for the show, bympod@gmail.com, send it to design. If we choose your design for the coat of arms, we will give you an entire package. We'll give you a hoodie, T-shirt, and a mug, plus a shout out for your business or website or whatever it is that you want us to shout out on the show. Because I think that some amazingly talented people that are out there that do some great stuff, and we'll put it out to you guys. I would love to see what you guys can do. So BYM, Believe You Me podcast, coat of arms that we could use for a T-shirt. That would be pretty damn cool. bympod@gmail.com.
Yeah, for me, I mean, as I said, I've been waiting for 2 years. I just felt like there should have been something a little more dramatic at the end. They could have had, one of the main characters getting killed off. That always does it. A shocking moment, I mean, yeah, it was great. It was good. And I'm looking forward to the next one. And it was the first episode, but could have been a little more dramatic at the ending. But it is, to quote Max Holloway.
Yeah, but also the other thing was they should have reminded you of certain things, right? So they had this dramatic moment where Bran sees Jaime Lannister, right? And it was the first episode that Jaime Lannister pushed Bran out the window. They should have recapped that somehow, because in my mind, after 8 seasons, I'm going, I don't remember if they've run across each other's paths at this point. I had no idea if Arya had never seen Jon Snow. When she saw that moment where she saw him on the horse, that was the first time she'd seen him in seasons and seasons and seasons. But they didn't really, if you didn't watch a recap or read a recap or specifically watch the season in the past couple of weeks, I think you sort of forgot that some of those things were as dramatic as they were.
Lewis, listen, Game of Thrones fans hang on every little micro detail of the show. They don't need reminding. I know, right? That Arya hadn't seen fucking Jon Snow for ages. Bran, the little shit that he is, don't you just want to slap Bran?
He's the
You know
worst.
what I mean? He's so pouty and so like his own arse these days. Yes, he's the three-eyed raven and he literally knows everything. But I'd say, listen, you're getting a slap. If you carry on with your dismissive ways, your aloof presence, no, it ain't gonna fly. You're out of Winterfell. Let's go. Get a horseman out of here because you can't walk out. Okay, Bran would be gone in a heartbeat. Okay, and he would have a good swift slap to the ass.
Yeah, I would just wheel Bran off the side of the wall and just watch him fucking crash into the ground. He's annoying. He's also just depressing. You're like, dude, you're bumming me out, Bran. We get it, dude. You're in a wheelchair. You see what's going to happen with the world. It's not a great thing. But stop bumming everyone out, dude. It's about making a decision with your life.
Definitely bumming everybody out. Listen, it's really bad. You can't walk, and we feel bad for you. But there's peasants out there in Middle Earth, or wherever they are, that can't walk, and they are on the streets. They got no food. You've got a team of soldiers. You got an army. You got the wall. You got kings and queens at your disposal, fucking wiping your ass and bowing down to you. Lighten up a little bit. Smile now and again, you little rat.
And I think a lot of people would give up the ability to walk to have the powers of the three-eyed raven. So, just be appreciative of what you got. That's really what we're saying, Bran.
Boycott Bran. There you go. Boycott Bran. I need him killed in the next show. Otherwise, I'm not watching Game of Thrones anymore. That's it. Bran the Brat, as he will be known hereforth. Okay, that was that. We'll see what happens next week. People that don't watch Game of Thrones are probably thinking, Jesus Christ, you digitizing English prick. Will you move on with the show? So here it is. We're moving on with the show.
We should talk about this fire at Notre Dame.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my dog is starting to growl for some reason at the front door. Maybe we'll talk about that. I might lose that in a minute, but it's terrible, Lewis. You know, I mentioned to you the other day. Oh my God, we've got to talk about this fire at Notre Dame. It's so sad. I mean, a 900-year-old building, a monument of history and faith and culture throughout Europe, throughout the world, and you were like, meh. Not really. Doesn't really matter. It's just a fire. And I was disgusted that you took it so you were so like nonchalant and didn't give a damn about it. But you know what? Actually, Lewis, I'm not surprised.
Why? Because I have real problems in life, and if you are a person that you see a burning building and it touches you so much that it affects you, that it makes you cry and it makes you go, "Oh my God, this horrible thing," you got a pretty goddamn good life. I gotta be honest with you. Your life's pretty good if that can affect you that much. That's not the point that I made, first of all, because all of our French fans are going, "This guy's a fucking asshole." That's not the truth, okay? I think it's horrible, obviously, but nobody was killed. There was no real art damage either. Like, they got all the art out.
Listen, nobody was killed, but I died a little inside watching that beautiful building, that cathedral. Have you ever been there, Lewis? Because I have. I visited there with Mrs. Bisping. We went there. We took it in. We soaked it in. We bathed in the grandeur of the architecture, the building. We went in. We took pictures. We posed outside. It's a sight to behold. You know, perhaps if you got out of the country now and again, maybe if you got a passport, you know, maybe you would admire and admire these things. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'm Catholic, but I don't really care about it from that side of things. But it is part of the human evolution. It's part of history. It really is, in culture. It's very, very sad, Lewis. You can't say that when you sat there and you watched and you saw that spire go down. Come on, it's at least give its bit of a shame.
It's a bit of a shame, but no more so than any other building that burns down in any city. I'm not religious. I don't really give a shit about religion at all. I grew up Catholic. Look, I looked this up. There's 30,000 homeless children in France. 30,000 homeless children in France. There are billionaires donating hundreds of millions of dollars to rebuild this church. The Catholic Church, do you know how much money the Catholic Church has? Look that up. Look how much money the Catholic Church has, Shannon. They don't need it. My poor aunt gives $5 a week. My whole life she's been giving $5 a week to the Catholic Church. They guilt the people that are part of the church into giving them money. I remember when I was a kid, they would give me and my sister 50 cents each, so when they would come around with the basket and shove it in your face, so our family wouldn't be embarrassed that not everybody was giving money. It's fucking crazy. So when I see people donating millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to save a fucking building, I go, well, what about the people that are starving on the streets? What about little kids in Africa who can't eat? And I'm not a fucking bleeding heart liberal by any means. I don't really get, I'm not losing sleep over that either. But let's just put it into perspective here. The Vatican's wealth is at 15 billion.
Okay. The wealth is at 50, but I mean, that's a lot of money. It really is. And I must admit, I do find it a little uncomfortable when they do hand the tray round to put the money in. You know, it's like, come on. Not that I go to church. I haven't been there for a very, very long time. But, but what about the fact that, that France together as a country is, they're bonding over this, and the rich billionaires, they're putting their hand in their pocket and they're doing the right thing. They're like the owner of Louis Vuitton donated $100 million. Some other billionaire donated $100 million. These guys have got enough money anyway. They're going to rebuild this thing bigger and better. It's going to be an improvement. All the art got taken out. Nobody died, as you said. That is the main thing. That's the good thing. But it is sad, Lewis. Come on, man. I mean, what's the oldest thing in New York City? What is the oldest thing?
I think Shannon's fake boobs. We got to get them.
Well, that's an easy fix.
We got to get some donations for Shannon's to get some new boobs. After 15 years, they're supposed to be taken out. And
now we've got hardline Wi-Fi. We're going to double the viewers. I tell you, when we get 100,000 downloads on YouTube or whatever it is, we're getting Shannon new fake tits.
How about this?
Bam.
That's actually a good deal. When we start averaging This is a fucking good deal. Actually, Mike, this is a very expensive thing. And we're not that far off. Time out. Let's fucking rewind all this.
Keep going.
None of that's happening. 100,000 views on YouTube. That's all we need, and we're gonna buy Shannon fake tits.
No. Not 100,000 views, 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that means from the on the actual podcast downloads would be about 200,000 or 250,000. Once we get there,
Just on YouTube.
We won't buy Shannon fake tits, okay? Unless you want to buy them out of the Gas Digital Studios, massive coffers of money, the giant pot of money that you hold, because let's be honest, Shannon is, she is the beam that supports this
that's the word you were looking for. I
think Michael Bisping said it best.
I mean, we've all seen what happens when Harrington produces. Shannon's producing now, totally glitch-free. There hasn't been a single issue this entire episode. No glitching, no freezing up, no digitizing, no messing with hardline Wi-Fi, no changing of shirts in between. Nothing.
All right, now we have to pull the fucking curtain aside. We did have an issue with the streaming yesterday, but we found out it wasn't well, look, you are using Hardline now, which is great, but it seems like it was an issue on our end. The whole building's internet was like shut down for 2 days, and it really created some issues. So there was some issues, I think, earlier in this episode, but it seems to be very good right now, knock on wood.
Yeah, no, we're very good right now. That's why last episode was garbage. And so our apologies. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. And going forward, we have fixed the problems. I have hardline Wi-Fi now. Hardline Ethernet internet, should I say. And, doggy, we're just killing the game right now. Look at this. I mean, there's hardly any delay whatsoever. It's crazy.
You know what I noticed? I feel like you call me doggy sarcastically, like you're making fun of me. But now it's not anymore. You sort of turned a corner where you're saying doggy in life. Admit this.
You're the only person I say doggy to. If I went up to anybody else and said, hey, doggy, they would slap me in the face, and I would deserve it. Daniel Cormier just called me a moment ago, and I didn't answer the phone. I said, hey, what's up, doggy? I said, oh, hi, Daniel. How are you, sir? Heavyweight champ. You're going to give him the respect due. If I said doggy, he'd be around my house in a flash, and he'd fucking body slam me in no time. Yeah,
well, look, I'm sorry that I'm sort of a leader. I create my own way to speak. I'm it's not even a big deal. Anyway, all right. Let's do it, baby boy. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Notre Dame, I don't want to seem disrespectful to the people that are, just torn apart by this horrible, horrible tragedy. But I lived in New York City during 9/11. Let's get some perspective here, Mr. Bisping.
Hey. Listen, this isn't a game of, I'll see your burning cathedral and I'll up you to 2 planes ramming into skyscrapers and killing 3,000 people. Okay, we're not trying to one-up this, okay? So American of you. And no offense to the American listeners, but that's a very American mentality. Oh, you got a church in this building. Well, remember 15 years ago or 18 years ago what happened to us? That was terrible. We cannot deny that. And we shouldn't even mock such a fateful day. And we're not mocking it. But don't try and one-up. Yeah, that was bad. But just because that was bad doesn't mean bad things can't happen in other countries. You can't say the burning of this beautiful cathedral is not a shame.
It's as much of a shame as almost anything else. Look, I'll give you more things that are more of a shame. Flight attendant in coma after getting the measles. There's a human being in a coma after contracting the measles. That is more tragic than a building burning that didn't even burn down. It's structurally still standing. It's got a couple fucking holes in the roof. Ooh.
Listen, it's a shame about this lady that has the measles.
No, you don't care. You don't care.
No, I don't know her personally. I have limited care. I'm not going to lie. I can only care so much about something that I hear online. I'll sit there, I'll think about it, I'll go, oh, God, poor woman. But you know where my mind immediately goes?
The church.
Fuck the church. She's one of those anti-vaccine motherfuckers. Measles was all but eradicated. There's been 600 cases of measles this year. You know why? These smart-ass fucking liberals trying to make out that everyone's trying to poison their children. Ooh, let's do away with vaccines. Absolutely fucking ridiculous, okay? And guess what? She's got the vaccine. She's got the measles, and it's a shame. And I hope she makes a full recovery. But when you do recover, get the fucking needle, get the fucking vaccine, and you won't get it again. Okay? My mother contracted polio when she was a little girl. You know, polio is a thing of the past. You know why? Because we get vaccinated. So I'm sorry, this lady, this smart ass, kind of only got herself to blame. And you know, condolences to her and best wishes to her and her family and all the rest of it. But still,
All right. Well, you beat me there.
limited.
You beat me there. Fine. Okay. What about this? At least 20. At least. Let me make that very clear. At least, likely more. 28 people killed after tourist bus crashes on Portugal's Madeira Island. This is at least 28 people, lives gone, families affected, children, kids. I'm talking about the ripple effect through the world and the lives that this has truly affected. I mean, how is this not front page news? How is this not where everyone's head is going right now?
You're absolutely right. It's a tragedy. But unfortunately, this is also another sad reality. People are born and people die every day. Okay. Have you ever stepped on a spider? Okay. You ever stepped on a spider? You killed a living thing, Lewis. Okay. You've probably stepped on 900 spiders. Okay. Because that church is 900 years old. That's like 15, 20 generations of human beings. Now, of course, I'd rather have those 28 people back alive and you can blow up the Vatican City for all I care, of course. But still, for the sake of entertainment, no. I'll take the church all day.
Well, what about this? All right, so we have the internet's been pretty good for the second half of this episode so far, but you have to make a decision right now. Okay, this is a hard decision.
Okay.
You either decide we have perfect internet, no streaming issues for the rest of the history of BYM. I'm talking about perfect, absolute, crystal clear streaming, no questions asked, no dropping out at all, no digitizing. We could talk over each other, we could argue, we could yell at each other. Ooh. Nothing. Or we bring back the church at Notre Dame. No fire, nothing. You have to choose one. You got to pick one right now. There's a genie here with a really cruel sense of humor.
So the thing is, I went to Catholic school. I was christened. I was baptized. I was an altar boy. You know, every Christmas Eve I had to go to church.
You have some stories about those guys, don't you?
This fucking Father Morris, he got me good.
Yeah, he did.
So the Catholic Church is very dear to my heart, Lewis. But I will say this, the outpour of support that we've seen from the wealthy people, from the community, from everybody in Francais, okay, it's been quite overwhelming. And I think that that's going to end up a good thing. They're going to rebuild that church. It's going to be bigger, better. Maybe it'll have some fire extinguishers installed, perhaps a couple of speakers. In the day when they build that, sprinklers weren't a thing, you know, maybe a fire bell, a fire alarm, and some sprinklers. So I say it's actually a blessing in disguise. Give me the Wi-Fi all day, every day. We're good, baby boy. We're good, doggy. Fuck Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. Michael Bisping did say it best.
I did. And by the way, it's Notre Dame, not Notre Dame. Okay? Just want to say that.
I don't think it's either. You just said Notre Dame. That's not what it is.
Notre Dame. That's how you pronounce it. Americans say Notre Dame.
First of all, don't put me in a fucking box like that, okay? I'm not just any old American. I'm unique, doggy. I got my own way.
No. I live in America. I like living here. It's a great place to be. The people are amazing, but I'm just saying certain things you say wrong. And that's okay. That's okay.
But
I just like to point it out now and again.
Why did you just do a Mexican accent? And that's okay.
Did I really?
Yeah.
But that's okay, man. Probably because I spent the last day or two watching clips of our good friend Jorge Masvidal, on the Joe Rogan podcast talking shit about Ben Askren. Did you see any of that?
I didn't actually see it. I did see the headline saying that he wants to break his face. This fight's going to be really good. It's great. Everything that's set up, it's two guys that should fight. They both won their last fights in really cool ways. Very different styles. You know, Ben's a fucking troll. He's going to get Jorge to be super emotional, guaranteed. Did you watch the whole interview? Was there anything interesting?
I didn't watch the whole thing. You know, no disrespect to Ben Askren and no disrespect to the great and powerful Joe Rogan, but 3 hours of Ben Askren, 3 hours of Joe Rogan and Jorge Masvidal with Joe just playing devil's advocate the whole time and just being great. And then Jorge just trying to fucking act like a badass the whole time. And I'm not talking shit, you know, but he was just like acting so hard. It reminded me of when I was like 17. You know what I mean? It's like, give it a little bit of a break. So no, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did watch a clip and Jorge was very entertaining. It was very entertaining. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't like Ben Askren. That's a fact. And that fight's going to be good. But listen, I'm telling you, I think Masvidal's got his hands full there, if I'm honest. But we'll talk about that nearer the time.
All right, Mike, really quick, we should talk about BetterHelp, which I love. It's I gave up my other therapist. I no longer am doing anger management with the therapist that I was using in New York City. BetterHelp is such a better way, whether it's just some regular therapy that you need, talk therapy, if you have anger management issues, depression issues, whatever it might be. BetterHelp has online counseling. They're here for you. You have a counselor at your fingertips to chat with. You can call. You can do video chats, which I've been doing weekly video chats with my therapist. And they offer a licensed professional counselor who specializes in all of those things. And it makes it super easy. I mean, if you live in New York City or LA or anywhere, driving through traffic, getting to a therapist's office, you're adding a couple extra hours just there and back to make that happen. And it's super inconvenient. So with BetterHelp, you can do it right from your home, right from your computer. It makes it super easy. You don't have to, I've walked in a therapist after I've cried. You run into somebody you don't want to deal with that shit.
No, absolutely. And to be honest, I'm super excited that I've discovered BetterHelp because I've been trying to find a therapist for a while. Now, I'm not going to lie. I haven't started yet, but I've scheduled my first one. Therapy is something that I've really been trying to get a hold of for a while. I mean, it's probably a reason why I ended up fighting in a cage for so long. I've probably got a couple of demons I need to exercise, and I have been trying to find a good one. My wife, for her own sanity, has been trying to get me to go to therapy, but I just haven't been able to have the time. But as you say, this is super convenient and video chats and stuff like that. Of course, for anybody going through anything like depression, stress, anxiety, relationship issues, sleeping, anger, family conflict, self-esteem, they're literally naming every issue that I have.
All of the above.
Okay, so yeah, all of the above. And of course, you said they're absolutely fantastic. And I've started the process. They've emailed me already. We're going back and forth. We're selecting a time. So it's super convenient. And please, everybody, mental health in this day and age, we all know it's very, very vital to having a happy life. The brain, you exercise your body, but you got to exercise the mind as well. And we all have issues. We all have things in our mind. And sharing them, speaking to a healthcare professional that's trained in this field will definitely help. So if this sounds like something you would like to do, Lewis, we have a fantastic deal for our listeners, correct?
So easy. If you go to betterhelp.com/believe, that's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/believe, you get 10% off your first month. Super affordable, way less than regular traditional therapy, substantially less, more convenient. Once again, it is betterhelp.com/believe. Fill out a little questionnaire. They assess you, they assess your needs and get you matched with a professional counselor that you're going to love. If you don't like that counselor, they will literally switch it out. You can switch a new counselor every week. If you want to have that weird first session over and over and over again, you can just switch out your counselor every week if you want to. But it's really a great service and we do love it. So betterhelp.com/believe. Get yourself some BetterHelp. All right, where were we?
Yes, what else have we got? What are we discussing now? As you said, we're piecing together two shows here. So thanks to all the listeners for sticking by us. So what was in the notes the other day, baby boy?
There was a couple things. I mean, the Israel Adesanya stuff sort of has been continuing. Whitaker has come out, and I believe he opened as a favorite. Do you know the spread, Harrington? I don't know it offhand, but he definitely opened up as a favorite over Israel Adesanya. I know that he said he hits harder than Gastelum, which might be true. I don't know. I think... I guess time will tell on that. But Israel seems to be kicking up a lot of dust because John Jones is beefing with him now as well.
Yeah, which is interesting. I mean, I get what Israel's doing. He's now the interim number one contender. So God bless him. He's the interim champion and he's looked great. He's undefeated so far. But, it is definitely... Oh, God, it's a few step-ups taking on John Jones. Remember, this man, asterisk or no asterisk, peak of grounds, whatever, best fighter in the world, maybe the best we've ever seen in there. Beating Kelvin Gastelum by decision and doing well, don't get me wrong, it was an epic fight. Everybody knows it was an epic fight. But if you look at John Jones, when he became the youngest champion in UFC history, when he absolutely destroyed Shogun, Shogun's don't walk in the park, and this was a long time ago as well when he was in his prime. You can't really, compare the two. They're not two comparable circumstances. But listen, and John Jones is, he came back and he's talked some shit. I forget what he said, and it's good for John Jones as well. I mean, it keeps his stock going high. Israel's out there. He's calling Jones a bully. Well, I mean that kind of fits because Jones is the bigger guy picking on the lighter weight, I guess. But I think it was Adesanya that instigated it. At the end of the day, Adesanya's got his hands full with Whittaker, if I'm honest. That's going to be a tough fight because Whittaker moves really, really well. And I don't know if he hits harder, but he definitely hits faster. I think he's got the faster hands. I think he's got better wrestling. I think Whittaker's on the Olympic team now for Australia.
Oh, really?
We all know how good the Australian Olympic team is. I mean, they're amazing. They're some of the best to ever do it. So yeah, it's a tough fight. It's a tough fight.
I mean, the Australian wrestling team is comparable to the Jamaican bobsled team. They should make a movie about it.
Yeah, no,
Makes
definitely.
no sense.
When the star athlete on the Australian wrestling team is Robert Whittaker that didn't wrestle at all, I mean, that says it all. But Whittaker can wrestle. He's good. He's
Yeah.
good. I mean, GSP never used to wrestle, and he could bloody wrestle by the end of it. So yeah, we're
Yeah, it's
only
also,
joking.
is there
All you
something
Aussie
about
fans?
Is there something about that as well? So when you learn to wrestle specifically for MMA, as George St. Pierre did, right, or Robert Whittaker did, in a weird way, you're learning a more effective form of wrestling. Now, I know you're having a foundation of a wrestler is really great, but when you're already a high level athlete, and you're sort of adapting your body, maybe. There's something to that. Like it's so specific that maybe in a weird way there are some advantages to learning how to wrestle for MMA. You would know more than I know. Are there any disadvantages to sort of having that wrestling background for MMA now?
Disadvantages to having the wrestling background? I don't think so. I mean, seeing what my son goes through, he just he had signing day at school today. So that was a proud moment for us. Yeah, we all had to go there and the teachers give a speech and everyone that got a scholarship, they made a big thing of it. It was very, very cool. But to see what they go through.
Did you cry?
I mean, the men's bawled my eyes out, Lewis.
Did you?
Did I fuck? What did you take me for? Come on, no, I did. I was very, very proud. I took some pictures. I put it on Instagram. I don't cry, okay?
You wouldn't cry, dude. Anytime my son,
talking about?
Dude, my son did a fucking musical the other day where he sang London Bridges, and I cried. I can't not cry. Anytime my son does anything, I turn into a fucking baby bitch.
What is it with the fires? You're talking shit about Notre Dame, London Bridge burned down. Anything else you want to make fun of, Lewis? You know what I mean? Fires are a real thing, okay? People have to breathe in that smoke, okay? They breathe in that smoke and they die of smoke inhalation. I'm glad you find it funny, okay?
I'm sorry. You're right. Very insensitive.
Yeah, very insensitive. No, it's not a shock. I mean, I'm super proud of the guy. Super beyond proud. Proud doesn't even go into it, but it wasn't a shock. We knew this was coming, so I wasn't going to start crying my eyes out, because there's 17 kids there and he's wrestling coach and he's signing a piece of paper. It's beautiful. It's nice.
You
to
can
your
cry.
question,
By the way, you can cry, Mike. It's not a big deal. You can cry.
I do cry. I have no problem.
When's the
crying.
last time you cried?
I generally cry on planes. I
Why?
don't know why. When I'm watching a movie, I get really into the movie, and I'm like, "Oh my god," and then like I'm like, "Oh god." I remember when I flew over for the Ultimate Fighter trials, 2005, and I watched Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I never saw it actually.
Oh my god, an incredible movie! I was watching Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe, and it's in the Great Depression, whenever that was, the 20s, 30s, I'm not sure, and he can't afford food for his family, and it's really, really sad. And he's giving his kid the little bit of food that they have, and he's going hungry, and he's lying and saying, "Oh, I've already eaten," and this and that. And he's trying to make it as a boxer. And here's me on a plane, and my family's at home, and they're broke, and they've got no money. And I'm flying out to America to try and make a go of it, in my fight career. So it struck a chord with me. And I'm watching, and, a little tear might have gathered together in the corner of my eye. And my mate Paul Kelly, that was also auditioning or trying out, he looks at me. He's like, "Are you fucking crying?" I'm like, no. Something in my eyes like, "You fucking soft bastard, get it together." But yeah, no. I do shed a tear. I have emotions, Lewis, and I'm not.
Some movies will do it to you.
On a plane. because
Only on a
you put your
plane.
headphones in. Seems to be only on a plane. Yeah, sometimes and on a plane, you're knocking a couple back.
Yeah, of course.
You're knocking a couple back on a plane. You're having a good time. So
I went to go
on the
see.
planes.
I went to go see. What was the fucking alien movie with they had the 7 arms?
What?
Arrival.
Oh,
Arrival.
yeah,
Did you see
it's a
that?
good movie.
Really good.
I did.
But I had no idea. Spoiler alert. I had no idea. I mean, the fucking whole movie, a big theme is the main character's daughter slowly dying of cancer. And it opens up with this. I'm talking about like, that's what happens. She goes back in time and she knows that her daughter's going to die. That's the, the angle or whatever, right? And I'm just in between 2 comedians, Ari Shafir and Dan Soder. And I'm fucking sitting there just sandwiched between these 2 guys, holding back every bit of tears, because if I start crying, they're going to start videotaping me and trashing me in front of an entire movie theater. It was awful. That's the stuff that will get me. It's anything about a kid dying, anything about a father and a son and like, coming of age. Oh my God, dude, that's the thing that will just fucking destroy me. So I don't even watch sad movies.
No. I don't like to watch sad movies either because they make you feel sad. I mean, I don't want to watch stuff about kids getting kidnapped. Well, what's that one with Mark Wahlberg? Is it Gone Girl? Where she gets kidnapped. Have you seen that? I mean, Jesus Christ, that is a sad, sad movie. A little cute little girl gets kidnapped and murdered and stuff. Oh, it's bloody horrible. Absolutely horrible. So I do try and avoid sad movies like that.
Isn't
I don't
that
mind
weird?
horror movies.
My ex
I
would
don't
do
mind
that.
horror movies. In our house, Rebecca and Callum will not watch horror movies because they're like, well, I don't want to be scared. I'm like, yeah, but there's no need to really be scared, okay?
Yeah.
There isn't a monster that's going to come through the door and kill us all, okay? So there's no need to be scared, but they won't watch them. Rebecca also won't watch movies. Like, for example, I still haven't seen Saving Private Ryan because we can't watch it in our house.
Why?
You know why? Because it actually happened. And she's like, no, I don't want to watch a movie about an event where so many people actually died and have it glorified. She won't watch the Titanic or anything like that. She won't do it. And I'm like, babe, you're really cutting off a massive section of our entertainment here. I'm like, come on, please. These are good movies.
Those are great movies. Yeah, that's crazy. So like Schindler's List, not going to happen.
Never seen it.
Fucking I mean,
Schindler's List. I mean, there you go. Schindler's List is definitely one that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
By all accounts, it's a very good movie, but not in the Bisping household, not while she's around. And then she's like, well, why don't you watch it by yourself? I'm like, what kind of weirdo is sitting in by himself on a Tuesday afternoon watching Schindler's List?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is the type of movie you want to sit down. I don't know. I like to have movie nights in my house. They're becoming a thing of the past. My family won't watch movies, and it's really starting to piss me off.
My ex would purposely try to see sad movies. She'd be like, oh, this movie's out. It's so sad. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, how good is your life that you're like, you know what I need right now? I need a little sadness. I need a little bit. I need to cry a little bit. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I've been trying to avoid sadness and crying my entire life. So I look at that also as a sign of the privileged, people who enjoy sad movies.
It seems like a good strategy. I also try and avoid sadness, believe it or not.
Yeah,
if you had to say, if you had to pick, and this is always hard, people always say, oh, what's your favorite movie? And I can never pick one, but I do have a couple that spring to mind. But if you had to pick a favorite movie,
of all time,
what would it be? Yeah, see, that's hard. It's hard. There's so many good movies. But for me, there's a few. I like comedies or whatever, but Goodfellas is definitely up there as one of my favorites. I don't know if that's why. I mean, Goodfellas, Wolf of Wall Street is amazing as well. I mean, I think that's hilarious. But yeah, go on, Lewis.
I think the best. I mean, it's so hack to say. But
it's what you're in the mood for as well in that moment.
Yeah, it depends. Shawshank Redemption is the movie that it holds up. God. Shut up. Really, you don't like Shawshank Redemption? Shut up. What is wrong with you? You're wrong. You're wrong.
I know that Goodfellas is a cliched movie to pick because it's such a guy's movie. I get it. But it's a fucking epic movie. The performances are great. The directing is amazing. The whole package is very, very good. But you're going to be so cliched and come out with Shawshank Redemption. Oh my God.
Let's see. Rotten Tomatoes on Goodfellas. 96% tomato meter for Goodfellas. Let's see, Shawshank Redemption. Ooh, let's see.
Let's see.
Okay, so tomato meter is 91%, but the audience score is higher. Audience score is higher,
No.
98%.
Sorry. You went to the tomato meter, whatever that is. First time I've heard it.
The tomato meter.
That was the tomato meter. That was the gauge you were using. Okay, you can't abandon your own gauge halfway through it just because you decide, or the tomato meter has decided that you're going to lose. You can't abandon it now, Lewis. You set yourself on this path. We're going by the tomato meter.
The tomato meter is fine. You win.
You lose.
I love Goodfellas as well, but I don't know. There's something about Shawshank Redemption. There are so many ups and downs in that movie. It's very hack to say you're right, but it genuinely, anytime it comes on, I will still watch it. It holds up every time. You know, if I were to recommend it to somebody, I would always recommend that. It's a good movie. Some people, like Goodfellas, you're not going to recommend to everybody. Like, I wouldn't recommend Goodfellas to, like, my 80-year-old aunt.
No.
It's violence. It's a different thing. So this, Shawshank Redemption is just like, you can watch it with your kid, you can watch it with your grandma, you can, as a dude, you feel like when they're drinking the beers on the roof, that scene when they're drinking,
bro. What about when that evil guy kills that innocent, cute little mouse? Are we just gonna pretend that doesn't happen in Shawshank Redemption? Oh, you call yourself a Shawshank expert?
Oh wait, there's also a bunch of gang rape that I forgot about. You can't really watch that with your kid either. You know what? But also, how does it? That's the problem, is the killing the mouse, not all of the gang rape.
Well, I forgot about the gang rape. Believe it or not, I try and block gang rape out of my mind. Obviously, for who you are today, you watched that when you were young and you were like, oh yeah, I'm all about that gang rape, baby boy, doggy.
Also, the mouse was from the Green Mile.
Yeah, the mouse from the Green Mile.
Correct. It was from the Green Mile. You're absolutely right. Who am I thinking of? The big guy, Marcus.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Black guy. Michael Clark Duncan. God rest his soul.
Racist. Just Marcus. Of course, any big black guy, probably named Marcus. Okay.
No, Michael Clark Duncan is like a blend of Marcus. Michael Clark Marcus. You can see where I was going. Now, I met that guy. He was a massive UFC fan. He used to come to a lot of the fights.
He died, right?
Very, very, unfortunately. Very, very nice
big guy.
Very nice guy. Big guy. Anyway,
he died.
What's going on?
Sorry, I'm looking this up. All right, so look, the Israel Adesanya stuff. I mean, there's not much more to say about it. He's going to be a massive star. Here's what I do every time, and this is my problem with being an MMA fan. Because I don't care about being right as much as I care about looking cool. This is a good way to put it, right? So I would rather, this is what I did with Connor. I do this with a lot of people. John Jones, I always pick against them. I'm always like, no, this next guy's going to beat him, because I want to look cool when they fucking lose, and I'm one of the only people who called it. And it never happens, but those moments stand out when you sort of make these bold predictions, right? And yes.
So what are you saying? So where are we going with all of this?
So where I'm going with it, where I'm going with it is Israel Adesanya. I feel like I've been sort of doing the same thing where I keep on picking against him, and I think I'm wrong. I think I need to stop trying to be cool and just say he's probably going to be a massive star and continue to be undefeated. He's going to be the next John Jones, Conor McGregor. It seems like the stars are all aligning for that. And anytime I'm saying against it, I feel like part of me is only saying that because I want to look cool if he loses.
Well, you shouldn't care so much as to what other people think about you, Lewis, okay? First and foremost, let me just say that. You just be you. You're successful. You have your own podcast network. You have a beautiful son. My word. You have tons of skanks falling at your feet. You have your own mini cult. But yet you're looking for cool points.
I know.
So picking against guys that you think deep down are gonna win.
Probably, yeah. It's a problem. I understand. You get it though. You wanna make that bold prediction. For me, I don't even want to talk about something. Look, if we're talking about a subject on the podcast and my opinion on it is the just general, middle of the road opinion, I don't even want to have a discussion on it. It's like, it's not exciting.
Yeah, well, no, it's not exciting, but I never pick a fighter that I actually think is going to lose just so I seem edgy. Never in my life. I've never done that once. Now, I will say this. No, I won't say it. I won't say it. I take that back. I take that back. I take my role as one of the best analysts in the game very, very seriously. But sometimes if I'm really friendly with someone, I might do them a favor. Simply because they watch the fights in the pre-fight show in their locker room. You know what I mean? And they don't need someone that's a buddy of theirs going, hey, this guy's going to get knocked out in the second round. There's no way he can compete here. So sometimes I don't lie, but I'm like, ooh, this is a close one. But sometimes I have actually thought, and no names, I've thought, this guy is going to lose, and it breaks my heart to say it. So I'll soften the blow, but I'll still be true to my word.
Well, the other thing is, depending on how you look at the world, I feel like there's a tangible effect there, right? So Michael Bisping says, I think this guy's going to lose. This is a guy that maybe is a friend of yours, looks up to you, whatever it is. That legitimately imprints upon their subconscious. They're in their head about it. Who knows how much of a tangible effect that really has? Now, look, high-level UFC fighters, I don't know that if somebody picking against them is going to fuck up their day, but any little slight difference, who knows how much effect that has over somebody. If I was a fighter, I probably wouldn't even want to read what my friends thought and read the opinions. I would probably, if I was going to be a real fucking fighter, I might have to just shut down from social media during that training camp to be really focused on the task at hand, because everything can affect you.
The mind is the most powerful muscle that the human body has. It really has. I mean, they always say mind over matter and all this type of stuff. You can will things into existence, the law of attraction and all this type of stuff. But there is something to that, and if two fighters are very, very evenly matched physically, whoever has the best mind is going to win. Whoever's the most confident, whoever deals with the stress, whoever's going into that arena with a free mind, cool, calm and collected and just in the moment. And then if that one person has someone that they think is a good friend of theirs talking shit about them on TV, putting that negative energy into that locker room, it's only a minuscule amount, but there is a little bit of negative energy that goes into that fighter there, Now, world-class competition, world-class title holders, it's probably nothing. But as I say, if somebody's mentally weak, if somebody's already got that seed of doubt in there, you know what I mean? If that seed of doubt already exists in that fighter's mind and they're like, shit, I don't know if I can beat this guy. Because you can lie to everybody. I say it all the time. You can lie to everyone out there. You can do media scrums. You can do press conferences. You can get on Twitter and Instagram and be like, oh, I got this, everyone. I'm going to destroy this guy. But you can't lie to yourself when you lie down on your pillow, when you lie in bed and you're like, shit, I don't know if I am going to kill this guy. I don't know if I am going to beat him. Fuck me. Did you see him? He looks good. He was bigger than me. When we squared up, he looked in way better shape. Holy cow. And I haven't really done much running this training camp. Oh, fuck. And I did have a couple of glasses of wine and this and that. And I didn't spar as much as I normally do. And now on top of it, Michael Bisping, the best analyst the UFC's ever seen, he's actually saying that I'm going to lose as well. When you put all that together, you're fucked.
Yeah, and when you're talking about, let's say, a razor-close fight, right? Anybody's fight, pick-em fight, guys that are fucking so close, then it becomes, centimeters count. The little tiny little edges here and there are going to make a big difference. I don't know if that would make a difference if there's a huge gap between two guys, but why not? You said this before, you've seen a sports psychologist, and the idea of visualization, this isn't just in sports psychology, this is in anything. They say, this is actually a great analogy. I don't know if we've ever spoken about it on the show, but I read a book and they did an experiment a while ago, years and years ago, but they had, I guess, two different basketball teams, or three different basketball teams, and they had them for like a month. One team, they had just practice every day, practice throwing free throws. The next team, they didn't have practice at all. They did absolutely nothing. And the next team, they just visualized the free throws. They weren't actually allowed to practice, but their practice every day was to visualize the free throws. And when they compared all the results for how much better each team got, the people who were visualizing it scored almost as high as the people who were actually physically throwing the free throws. So the idea is, you can really visualize something and sort of put yourself there, and that is legitimately a tangible thing. And you talked about seeing a sports psychologist and them walking you down to the ring. Talk a little bit about that, because those are these little differences that I think, in a really close fight could make a huge difference.
Well, I was going to say what you just said there is a real thing. So it's like when, let's say you're doing jujitsu or whatever sport it is, right? Whatever, any of the people listening, if they do a sport or any kind of physical activity, if you get shown a move or a technique, certainly in jujitsu, something like that, where sometimes they can be very complicated. You get shown something and you try and do it and you just look like a spaz. You know what I mean? It doesn't resemble it at all. And the coach is like, oh, all right, no, let me show you again. It's kind of like this. And then you do it a second time and it's still terrible. After you've done it 30, 40 times, it's starting to resemble somewhat of the move. You know what I mean? If it's certainly someone that's never done jiu-jitsu and you're trying to teach them an armbar. It's terrible. It's super loose. They can't get the techniques right. Certainly not to a point where that technique would work in a real life situation. But the more you do it, the better you get. And why is that? Is because you're strengthening the neural pathways in the brain. Okay, so at first, right, for you, when you think about it, it has to go down these neural pathways and you have to move your body in a certain way. But the more times you do it, you're strengthening that path and you're making it stronger. And just thinking about it can strengthen those neural pathways as well. So physically doing it, but thinking about it and visualizing it, once again, it's almost as good as actually physically doing it. Yes, that's right. I have a PhD in science. I know all about the brains and the inner workings. I know you're shocked, you're surprised, but Google that shit. I think I'm correct.
Fuck yeah, you are.
But it's true, though. It is true. And I did see a sports psychologist, and he was very helpful. It was good. It was kind of a big eye opener. Yeah. But I wish I did more. I really did. I wish I did more. Incidentally, it was the same guy that GSP used, a guy called Brian Kane. He was very, very good. But, that's the hard thing about MMA. There's so many different disciplines to do. You got your boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, your sprints, your weights, your conditioning, your sparring days, and then you've got wife and kids at home and your other stuff. And then you got to see your physio and you got to get massage and all this stuff. It's kind of hard to squeeze in sessions with a sports psychologist as well, Yeah,
so I usually mix it all up.
Continued with it.
I'll mix it all
up.
You
just mix it up?
I just spar with my wife and sort of kill two birds with one stone there. And then free it up for just rub and tugs and sports psychology. That's really it. A little massage, a little sports psychology. It's a good life.
Sounds like a healthy balance you got there, bud. It really does. What else? Is there any fight? Oh, there's fights in Russia this weekend.
Is it this weekend?
Who's the main event there? Yeah, the main event in Russia. They asked me to do that one. I was like, I've just came back from Europe. I've been away for a month. I just couldn't physically face going to Russia, so I bowed out of that one. But I've always wanted to go to Russia. Never been. You ever been to Russia, Lewis? I don't know why I'm asking. I know the answer.
No, I've been to Amsterdam. I was supposed to go to other places in Europe, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Hookers and weed are cool.
Have you any desire to go to Russia?
I want to travel. I want to do a tour this fall, and you're going to be on a part of this tour. We're going to tour. We're going to go to the UK, and I'm going to do stand up all over Europe, I think. But we're going to do some stuff, I think, this fall. We're going to try to. I'm just going to be proactive. If I just say this, would happen last time. Just pick a date and then we do it. You'll agree to anything if it's 3 months out. That's if you want Michael Bisping to do something, put the date 3 months out. He will 100% agree to it. And at that point, it's too late. That's how I booked him on Skankfest. It's why we did the Toronto show. This is it.
Mike, so do you want to do my podcast in 3 months, Mike?
Yes, I've said I'll do it next week. I'll do it very, very soon. I'll do it. My diary, my calendar, as you guys say, is full of dates, which I did agree 2 months ago that are now fast approaching. And my agent, my acting agent, is hopefully got a couple of things lined up. But I'm like, oh God, shit. I've got all these other things. Oh God, it's very, very difficult. But you're right. Ask me to do something in 3 months. I'll agree. You know why? Because I'm a good person, Lewis. I want to help. I want to do that. Be there. I want to be a team player. But when the date approaches, you got to make some difficult decisions.
That's life, baby boy. Let's talk about this really quick because we have some questions to get to. We got about 10 minutes left in the show.
Okay.
I did want to talk really quick. Rich Franklin, Hall of Fame. What do you think? Do you think that he's in the? You like it?
Yeah. Come on, Rich Franklin. He was around forever. He was he was a dominant champion. I'm not sure how many times he defended his belt. If you want to look that up, Harrington. Franklin was a great ambassador for the sport. He was a fantastic champion. He had some amazing fights in there as well. He really did. I'm trying to think, he had some real entertaining fights. I was there when he got destroyed off Rich Franklin one time, and
Anderson Silva.
Was bad to see. Sorry, pardon me, off Anderson Silva. Oof, man, his nose was that way. It was really bad. And then they made an immediate rematch. I think was it an immediate rematch? It might have been, and he got done in even worse again the second time.
It was not an immediate rematch.
No, he was. He defended the belt twice. He won it off of, it looks like, Evan Tanner. Defended it twice, lost to Silva. Won his next 2 fights against Jason McDonald and Yushin Okami, and that got him the rematch with Silva.
Oh, he beat Yushin. Oh, that's interesting. Rich was really good, man. He was a great, very solid, sound fighter.
No, he really was. And as I say, in those days, because you got to remember, you got to go back a while. When Rich Franklin was around, it was still in a time where mixed martial arts still wasn't given the respect it was due. You know, there were still people out there trying to say these guys are thugs, that this sport should be banned. You know, he wasn't far removed from the time when I think it was John McCain was saying that this is human cockfighting. You know, so he was the perfect person to have as a champion because he was a former math teacher. You know what I mean? He was clean cut,
good-looking guy.
Swear, he was a God-fearing man. He's no doubt in tears over Notre Dame right now. You know. So yeah, I think it's a massive, massively well-deserved thing. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Do you know why his nickname?
I deserve to be the headliner of the Hall of Fame ceremony. I'm not having Franklin coming in and overshadowing me on short notice. No way.
It only became legitimized when you joined. It was sort of a thing. Like nobody really considered the UFC Hall of Fame as a real tangible thing. And then they put you in it. And then it was like the smoke cleared a little bit. And we were all like, oh, wait, this is actually an honor now. I understand it.
Then it became like a thing to get in, to aspire to want to be in one day. You know, no one really cared before, but then, you know, we're setting trends all over the place. So now, yeah, listen, Rich Franklin, legend of the sport. He really is. I was a big fan. We were matched to fight a few times, I think, but it never happened for one reason or the other. I always wanted to fight him, not out of any kind of grudge or dislike or anything like that, just simply because he was one of the guys I looked up to when I got into the sport. So, yeah, no, I'm happy to see him getting the credit that he deserves. I see something troubling you, Lewis. What do you want to say?
Well, I'm looking at the UFC Hall of Fame on Wikipedia, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but... Yeah, so, all right, Pioneer Wing, the inductees. I'm looking at Pat Miletich on this list, and didn't Tim Sylvia just freak out about you going into the UFC Hall of Fame and saying Pat Miletich isn't on it? So how is Bisping getting into the Hall of Fame when Pat Miletich is? So just fact check this for a second, because I want to ask you, is there anybody that you think that should be in the UFC Hall of Fame, or maybe is a future Hall of Famer that, yes, Harrington?
I think he was saying Jens Pulver.
Nobody said Pat as well. For sure said Pat Miletich.
He did say Pat and he did say Jen. So whatever, no big deal, Lewis. Let's not dump on him again. He's got enough problems, you know. But
he threatened me. Did you see that? Did you see that he threatened me?
Physical violence?
He threatened me with physical violence. And I got to be honest with you.
What did he say?
I'll take that fight. Tim Sylvia now? Let's go.
Walk in the park. Fucking Ellis Mania, bro. Lewis Mania. Let's do Lewis Mania with Tim Sylvia.
He said he would smack me and I did nothing about it.
Who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? I mean,
I'd agree with Jens.
Chuck Liddell, I'm assuming. Yeah, Jens Pulver. Yeah, definitely. BJ Penn. Is he in there? BJ Penn? He must be.
It looks like he's the modern era. Yeah. So Harrington, confirm this. Is Pat Miletich in the UFC Hall of Fame? Okay, so fucking Tim Sylvia's a moron.
Yeah.
Okay, Ronda Rousey, Uriah Faber. And then there's contributors as well. So there's another wing, which is sort of like
George St. Pierre should be in there for a fact.
Yeah, he's retired
Anderson
now too.
Silva. Yeah, Anderson Silva will be in there one day. Come on, that's a given. Who else? I mean, there's a lot of people. There really is. Daniel Cormier, he'll no doubt end up in there. And controversial, but John Jones. John Jones, definitely.
Do you think it should be like baseball where they... Whoa, I'm out of focus.
You're really out of focus.
Michael Bisping. The fucking drugs kicked in.
Tiger, what is going on? Ooh, left that pain medication.
But do you think maybe it should be sort of like baseball, right? Didn't they take people out of the Hall of Fame because they got caught with steroids?
The only person... The only person who's ever been taken out, as far as I know, is Pete Rose, who got in as a player but then got caught gambling on it later in life.
Oh, so those guys that did steroids, they never
got in. No, there's a pretty big thing with the baseball. The baseball writers are the ones who vote you in. And
they don't get in because of the steroids. But what about that? Is that something that you think should disqualify somebody for getting into the UFC Hall of Fame? I mean, somebody gets popped for steroids, and if that's the case, I mean, Hoist Gracie, Ken Shamrock. I mean, some of these guys weren't popped, but I remember we interviewed Don Fry talking about like steroids and MMA back in the day, and it was like, "Are you fucking who wasn't on steroids?" It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So
no,
I mean,
he did say something like that. We interviewed him on Sirius XM, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't care, man. Who wasn't on steroids back in the day?" You can't throw Henzo Gracie and Hoist Gracie's name out there so flippantly, Lewis. You got to have a little bit of respect for these guys, for the family, for the Gracie family, the founding fathers of the UFC.
I didn't say anything about Henzo. It was Hoist that got caught. And first of all, you know how much I fucking love Hoist Gracie? Ask my son when you see him next time. Ask him who Hoist Gracie is, because I've turned the story of UFC 1 into a children's story that I tell my son before he goes to bed. I've been about Hoist Gracie, the little guy who knew jiu-jitsu, and he beat the boxer with big one. He had to wear a glove on his hand because he punched so hard. I mean, it's this cool little epic tale that I tell to my son now, and he's in jiu-jitsu now. He just got his blue gi, which is the not beginner gi now. So I'm such a big Gracie fan, Hoist in particular, but he did get popped. He got caught using steroids.
But you know what's going to happen to James, don't you?
He's
going to think now. yeah. James is going to think that he can take on massive people that are way bigger than him. He's going to be picking fights with like the bigger kids in school, because my dad told me the story about Hoist Gracie, and now I do jiu-jitsu and I've got my blue belt or my blue gi, and James is going to go and pick a fight with some big kid, and you filled his head with delusions of grandeur. You know what I mean? And he's going to find himself in a spot of hot bother real fast. Good parenting, Lewis. Good job.
Yeah, he's gonna run into an Art Jimerson, if you know what I mean, in Harlem, and he's not gonna have the same luck.
He's gonna go attack a gigantic black guy with one hand. He's like, yeah, that's the last person you want to attack, James. But Daddy said it's okay. Daddy said I do jiu-jitsu, so I'll beat him. James gets stabbed, and that's that.
And anyway. The Puerto Rican tradition carries on.
Yeah, there. Oh God. All right. Should we do some questions?
Let's get some questions going. This has been a fun one. I know we had to do it over the course of 2 days, but I'm really happy that it seems like we have figured out some of these streaming issues right now. This second half has been as good as it's ever been. I mean, really no digitizing at all. So
absolutely. So I want to say to everybody, I know over the years or the couple of years we've done this, the quality was a little shoddy, but we're working on it all the time. Thank you for sticking with us and having patience with us. The show does matter to us, and we try our best. And Lewis and his whole team are always working hard. And I finally went and bought a hardline wire from Best Buy, so I'm working hard as well.
I know.
Took me 2 years to do it, but you know what? Our washing machine broke. Not our washing machine. Our dishwasher broke about a year ago. Okay. And we only just got a new dishwasher today as well. It's not that we couldn't afford one, but we're just so busy, Lewis, and going down there and getting these cables and dishwashers and things like that. I don't have time.
I understand.
Stuff, but,
I thought you were calling one of your maids a dishwasher. I was like, that's not okay, Mr. Bisping.
That's not nice. That's a very old school joke, Lewis. Come on. I thought you were the cutting edge of comedy.
Never pretended.
Cutting edge.
Everything that I have was in my special. Now I got nothing left. Starting fresh, baby boy. Lowest
Check it out.
fruit.
Louis J. Gomez presents Louis J. Gomez.
All right, Mike, real quick, let's talk about BetDSI. We have some fights this weekend, and I'm going to BetDSI to win some cash. They've been in business for over 20 years. Everybody's heard of BetDSI. It's the one website in gambling that you've heard of, which means that, look, they're pretty trusted. They've been around forever. They have 24/7 customer service, 365 days a year, live in-game wagering, betting throughout the tournaments. You can make plays throughout entire games and events. It's really the easiest website to gamble on, and they make it, and they always offer the best odds as well.
They really do. And also, and this is important, BetDSI has built a reputation on fast payment of winnings. And we tell you this all the time, you're more invested with sports if you've got money on it. And BetDSI is a super easy app or website to use. Go to it. We have fantastic offers for you. This weekend, there's a fight in Russia. Alistair Overeem, I think, taking on Alexei Olenek. Harrington, what are the odds?
Alistair Overeem is minus 233. Alexei Olenek plus 202.
meaning that Alexi's the underdog. How do you feel about that, Mr. Bisping? How do you think? What do you think of Alexi's chances here?
Listen, there's a reason why Overeem is the favorite here. There really is. I mean, he's been around far longer. He was a K1 champion. He's got decent jiu-jitsu. He's a big fella as well. Yeah, I've got Overeem winning all day, to be honest. But guess what? If you're willing to put your money where your mouth is, you can still make money on a favorite. Okay. Unfortunately, BetDSI have a fantastic offer. If you go to betdsi.com and use the promo code BYM120, up to $1,000, they're going to give you a 60% bonus cash. So if you put 1,000 down, it's like putting down 1,600. It's madness. It's crazy. It's an amazing offer. But explain, Lewis.
It's pretty easy.
Exactly.
This is the way it works, okay? If you guys opt in for that player's bonus, 60% player's bonus, up to $1,000, there is a rollover requirement. So you have to gamble a certain amount of times if you use the bonus cash. Just know that. There's a bunch of bonuses that they offer as well. But any bonuses that you opt in for, you have to gamble a certain amount of times. If you don't opt in for that bonus, you can take out your cash right away. Still use our promo code BYM120. That's how they know we sent you there. But just know before you go and gamble how exactly it works, because we did have a couple fans saying, hey, dude, why can't we cash out our money? We don't want you to think that there's anything up with this. They're one of the best in the business, specifically because they're so upfront and honest and they have great customer service. But just understand the way the bonuses work before you go and put some cash down. All right, that's it. Enjoy the fights. Let's get back into it.
Shall we do some questions?
Yeah. Let's get them going. Get a couple questions going. Let's get the video one. Jared, question for everyone with the video question, or do you not have that prepared yet?
No,
you want to ask?
I do.
Yeah.
We got another video question in during the course of the show, and I figured you guys are going to want to watch this one first.
Okay, cool.
All
Let's
right,
do
okay,
it. If you want to send in your questions, it is bym@gmail.com. I'm sorry, bympod@gmail.com. You can send us your questions. Also, I know I mentioned this earlier. I hope it was not edited out, but we want to do a new T-shirt design as well. We do have T-shirts and mugs and all that stuff at Merch Pump, but we want to do a coat of arms. So if you guys can design, if anybody out there has some artistic skills, if you could design an official Believe You Me coat of arms, we will use it. We'll credit your website, whatever it is. Plus, we'll give you the entire package: hoodie, mug, T-shirt, all that good stuff for helping us out. Shoot us that email at bympod@gmail.com along with your questions. Yes, Mr. Bisping.
Can I ask a question? Number one, can I get some of this merchandise that you're flogging that I know nothing about? Secondly, where did he get it from? I hear you say Merch Pump. Is that the website, merchpump.com?
/BYM. Yeah, merchpump.com/BYM is the official URL.
I never went to marketing school, but I feel it's a good idea to put
No, it's not BYM. Sorry.
No, just go to merchpump.com and look up BYM while you're there.
What? Why? What's the?
I just tried it and it came up a non-searchable.
Well, there's an actual URL.
/BYM.
No, just do merchpump.com/believe you me. No, that's not there either. Where is it?
All right. We'll figure it out. We'll tweet it out. We'll tweet it. Let's. This is world class podcasting. Let's do this amazing question that Harrington feels we need to watch. Please. Oh, there it is. Hoodies, shirts. Whoa. Mugs. All right. What's going on? Okay. There he is. Let's get some volume.
From Vancouver.
Stephen. All right, Steve.
It is I, Sir Bedek Dondarrion of House Dondarrion and of the Brotherhood Without Banners, here with a fan question. As a man who has died 6 times and brought back to life by the Lord of Light, who do you guys believe will die next on the Game of Thrones? All right, enough of that terrible accent. As you can see, I'm wearing a costume for a Game of Thrones party. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the season. I just wanted to say you guys are killing it. I appreciate you guys' podcast. And when Dustin Poirier won his belt at that recent awesome UFC, couldn't help but think about Michael Bisping's journey and his epic saga to get the title and of his eventual victory over that cunt, Luke Rockhold.
Oh.
So, hey, again, congratulations on all your guys' success, the Hall of Fame, this comedy special, and the podcast. The question again is, who do you guys think will die next on the Game of Thrones? Cheers.
That was Tankanori Gomi. Thank you for the question.
Takanori Gomi. Oh,
it was.
My God.
It was.
Thank you, Ryan. Was it Ryan? Was it Ryan?
Stephen.
Almost. Stephen from Vancouver, thank you very much. And well done on the costume. I appreciate the effort. We like a little bit of production value over here at BYM with the video questions. Who do we think, or who do I think will die next? I mean, Lewis, go ahead while I think.
It's got to be somebody big, right? They got to kill somebody. You know who I'm going to say? Big character, next one to die? The Hound. There was a moment between Arya and the Hound, and I feel like even though he's on their side, Arya, there's something about Arya. She's broken inside. There's something there. She's got a weird little smirk. She's a fucking killer. She's got a darkness to her, and I think that she made that promise of that list of everyone she's going to kill, and I think that list will come back this season, and she's going to keep on scratching names off of it.
What is the deal with Arya and the Hound? See, I thought, of course, it was they hated each other, but then they grew to respect one another, and he had her back, and they went off together, and they had it was like a couple of seasons where them two were just off doing their thing, and he protected her. Then she left him to die, but he survived. That's all well and good. They had that problem, and then now they see each other, and as you said, there's a little bit of beef brewing there. But I'm a little surprised. I thought they'd be happy to see one another. So, come on, Arya. I like the Hound.
God, sorry.
I don't know who I think is going to die, but here's who I want to die. Okay. Because I can't deal with her mopey face anymore. Sansa Stark.
Yeah.
Okay. She's got a face like a slapped ass. She's a sulky, stroppy little bitch. She's too big for a station. She hasn't achieved anything. Okay. She didn't even have sex with the dwarf when they were married. Okay. She can't even do that, right? She can't even consummate the marriage. Okay. And now she's getting ideas above a station. She's trying to overthrow Jon Stark. She's trying to turn everyone against him. She's as bad as Cersei, but just nowhere near as fit. So I say Sansa Stark gets it. Spear through the head. You heard it here first.
I don't like her either. You're right. I'm with you. I agree. I like that. Let's kill Sansa Stark as well.
All right.
Not bad.
Next question.
Let's get another video question before we wrap up here. One more.
This is Jared, and he has a question apparently for all four of us.
Okay.
Ooh.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, guys. Sorry for being in bed. I'm a disabled vet, so this is about as good as it gets.
Pause it.
I got a question for...
I mean, come on, dude. Please tell me he's a disabled vet before my mouth starts to open up to trash him and his face and his room and everything. Thank God he said something right away, because I was about to really disrespect this guy.
Lewis, he's like 3 seconds into the thing. He said, "Hi, guys, I'm a disabled vet." How quick do you want acknowledging of his disabilities?
I was like, loser.
You shouldn't judge people, okay? You don't know what this guy's been through. He might have seen the Notre Dame building and just couldn't deal with it, and he had to take a lie down, like any normal person would do, okay? Okay, mocking this. You're mocking this guy, and I don't like it. This guy perhaps gave a leg for this country, and that's why he's lying down.
That's exactly my point. My first thing was like, what a fucking lazy loser. Stand up. Holy shit. But then I found out he's a disabled vet. So next time, Harrington, please let me know that preemptively so I don't disrespect our armed forces. It's a Harrington problem.
So hold on, but is that fake respect? You don't like the guy, he's kind of a dick, he's a bit of a loser, and then you find out he's an ex-vet, and you're like, oh, thank you for serving our country, bro. Well, that's fake.
The man gave one of his legs for our country. I'm not going to sit here and fucking disrespect him.
Harrington, can you clear up, does this man have 2 legs or 1?
I'm going to assume 1 leg.
I have no idea.
1 leg.
Shannon,
I hope he shows it.
Legs?
I assume he has no legs. It's like Gary Sinise in Forrest Gump. He's got a hot Asian wife. He just stumbles into the room. Fuck yeah, dude. He's got a better life than me. I give up my legs for some hot Asian puss. Fuck yeah.
I like that guy in Forrest Gump. He was awesome. The captain.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he was good. All right, go on. Play the tape.
For all 4 of you guys. Number 1, Shannon. Hey, Shannon. You ever dated a disabled guy?
Oh, boy.
You know what the best thing about dating a disabled guy is? You always know where they are. Oh. Harrington.
Pause.
Hey, you.
Shannon,
Yes.
have you ever dated a disabled guy?
I have not, but I can say that if a guy's in prison, you also always know where they are.
That's true. And also, Shannon's dated a couple guys that made her disabled after they were done with her.
But let's talk about this guy, Shannon.
Yeah.
What do you say? What's your first thoughts? You're looking at him. He's lying down. He's looking a little sexual. Are you attracted to this man? Could you be convinced to at least go on a date with this guy? Come on, bear in mind, he's disabled.
I know, and he's a hero. He seems very sweet. He has a good sense of humor. I just feel like my own insecurities will eventually take over, and I would be a terrible girlfriend to him.
So no love for the guy that gave.
I
up
could go
leg.
on a date. I could go on a date.
No. It's fine. It's fine. You set your stall out. Harrington, press play.
He looks like a disabled Travis Brown, doesn't he? We're gonna call him Travis Down. That's his name.
Travis Down. Oh, that's a good one. Come on, play tape.
Ooh. Harrington. Hey, you punk ass bitch.
Yes.
I like
you
this
own
guy.
an assault rifle?
I will kick your ass.
Because from one incel to another, if you were to get a little postal up in there, I wouldn't blame you. All right.
This guy's a weirdo.
Louis J.
What up, baby boy?
You're up, buddy.
Oh.
Are you a crossway bruiser? Because you're always saying, I don't mean to suck your dick. But then you do. Ugh. And Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Michael. Oh, boy. Let's take it on back, Mike. Let's take it on back to tough 3.
All right.
You're in tough 3. Everybody knows that old Matt Hamill is a ringer to win because he can smoke all y'all at his monkey grabbing. So then, what's his name? Kendall Grove. That pigeon talking backwoods motherfucker decides it would be a good idea to head kick Matt Hamill into outer space.
Jeez Louise.
This is what happens when you're a vet and you're disabled and nobody punches you in the face. This is what this is what you turn into. He just trashes everybody. He doesn't give a fuck, and we can't make fun of him because he's a disabled vet. That's not fair.
No.
This is a bully mentality.
Well, what we can do, we can say, no more questions from disabled people, okay? Because they're not accountable for their actions, okay? So if you're disabled, I'm sorry, you're not welcome around here. And that is a joke. Go on, play the rest of the tape. The longest goddamn question known to man.
Face and give him a concussion and kick his monkey ass out of the tough championship. So, Mike, you end up fighting, let's face it, a world-class nobody. You take the tough championship handily, and thus begins your illustrious career. So my question to you
I'm aware of the history.
How do you think tough finale would have gone if you and Matt Hamill would have squared off like everyone wanted to see? All right, you guys. Love the content. Peace.
This guy's a fucking dick.
Yeah, total asshole. Just disrespects everybody. Everybody. Harrington, do you own an assault rifle?
No, but, I do know how to stand up for myself.
Oh, what does that mean? Do you have a gun, Lewis? Shannon, any of you guys have guns? Who am I dealing with here?
New York, you can't get a gun. It's almost impossible to get a conceal and carry permit in New York.
No, I'm not talking about concealed, but what about in the house? You can have a gun, right?
It's even hard to get a gun in New York, like a handgun in New York. You have to be law enforcement. Like there's no way to really get a permit. You have to know somebody. That was a big thing in New York. They were buying off. They were bribing the guy. Like rich people were bribing the police guy that was in charge of issuing those permits. And that happened just maybe not even a year ago. Somebody got in trouble for being bribed. So no, I don't have one. I wouldn't have one. It's not even that I'm against guns. I'm too much of a hothead that if I had a gun in my hand at any given moment, I would fucking, who knows what path we would go down.
Well, that's what happens. Ooh, everybody can have a gun, but then people have bad days and they have mental breakdowns. And the next minute, you're led in bed like a one-legged maniac asking total bullshit questions that don't make sense. And guess what? You fucking idiot. I did fight Matt Hamill. We already fought. I beat him. It was a close fight, but it did happen. You were probably out saving the world in Iraq, picking on little people that were just trying to look after their family, get some water from the well. But you come in with the fucking red, white, and blue and some tanks and blow up all the family. Yeah, let's talk about that, okay? Matt Hamill, you're barred from the show. Never watch again.
I think he was in a coma during that fight. That's what happened. He was
having his leg amputated.
Yeah, it was a Metallica 1 video. It was he was just in his own head. No, we kid. We look. Thank you for your service, but just because you're a hero doesn't mean you could bully us. I'll still fight you. It's almost like when fucking women think they could punch you in the face because you can't hit them back. You're like, listen, lady, I'm choosing to not destroy your life right now. So I think that's what he's going through. People don't threaten his life because he's a fucking one-legged hero. But we have no class. We will jump you. Me and Michael Bisping will actually physically jump you together.
Well, it was just like that with Matt Hamill because, very unfortunately, he had a disability. He was deaf. But guess what? Just because you're deaf doesn't mean you can't be an asshole. And he was definitely a bit of an asshole in there. So I'd called him out on it and stuff. And everyone thought, oh, he's anti-deaf people. I'm not anti-deaf people what at all. I've got no prejudice against people because they have a hearing disability. But just because you're deaf doesn't mean you can't be a dick.
Yeah, you have nothing against deaf people. God has something against deaf people. Obviously.
Exactly. And that's why the Notre Dame burnt down. It was a bunch of French deaf people in the quietest little protest ever. All right. I guess on that note, we'll say that's a show. We'll wrap it up. I feel like we've sorted out this Wi-Fi thing. We're all good going forward, guys. So thanks for sticking with us.
Well, we're going to do another show this week before I go to LA, but I'm in town on Sunday. Or Saturday, rather. We're going to do at least 2 episodes while I'm out there in person. Maybe we'll get a guest or two to come in. I know we're going down to LA.
I was going to suggest that. We'll figure out the studio, and then at least one of them will have a good guest. Maybe both. We'll try and get Jason Perillo in there as well. He's always awesome. He hasn't been on for a while. And we'll try and get some big-time guests to blow your minds. But until then, thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with us. And go to iTunes, all that good stuff. Leave a review. 5 stars. Tell your friends. Blah, blah, blah. Take care. Bye-bye.